We are going to do a weekly reading vlog. Now that I have gone back to work full time, I'm finding that my reading time has been cut down to basically non-existent. So we are going to experiment together and see how much we can read from today to a week from today, which is next Saturday. So I have finished one of the books on my TBR for September, and I have all of these, plus a couple more on my Kindle. I don't know which one I want to read. So I made up a spinner wheel because I like fate and randomness. And so oh goodness, what'd I do? Are going to spin this handy dandy wheel right here and see what our next read is going to be. Grey Mist Fair. All right, this book right here. So the back says, we have passed from the world of reason. This is the world of magic. I need you to know where you are. Do you? This was a total impulse cover by the way. So this basically is about a path that leads into the woods, and there's a town called Grey Mist Fair where people never leave. And I guess that's what it's about. That's the impression that I got. So this is a YA fantasy, and we're going to get started. I have an irrational and unreasonable fear of Hansel and Gretel. And so the fact that this book opens with a quote from Hansel and Gretel leaves me feeling a little bit of trepidation. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna read this section to you. It's called Home, and it's a page and a half. And it kind of is setting the tone for where this book is gonna go, and I really like it. It says, a road leads into a dark forest. It passes through a village some travelers never see. The village is not meant for everyone. To outsiders, it's a place of darkness and whispers, threatened by bright-eyed creatures that live in the wood. Its people are friendly but insular. Its routines familiar but not inclusive. A tall man in a dark coat walks the road. Death follows on his heels. Grey Mist Fair is their home, but only one of them is welcome. The man is a doctor, a healer. Death can only ever be themselves. Curious eyes and spiteful hearts follow them through the forest, but do not touch them. The road is safe. The doctor and Death don't waste any time. There are many who need the doctor's help. The village's noble family, the widowed fisherman and his son, the orphans in the wind-slanted shack, the butcher inspecting his many knives, the kind old innkeepers and the abandoned boy, and the tailor, always the tailor. She is not ailing or hurt, and the doctor will make sure she stays that way. As they walk, Death hums a tune. It's a popular rhyme with the children of Grey Mist Fair. When they approach the outskirts of the village, Death stops while the doctor continues on. Gradually, the village emerges from the mist. Cozy fires burn on the cobbled hearths, walls and roofs thatched tight against the darkness. Neighbors trade wares and stories. They keep one another company in the long lulls between visitors, and on the nights when they are sure evil is real and it lives in the forest. The doctor wishes he could calm their fears, but he would have to lie to them. He, better than anyone else, knows that death awaits in the trees. that death is patient, and that death will do anything to return home. That sounds so good. And then it goes on to the girl who outran death. I think I'm gonna like this book. Good morning. I am about 100 pages into Grey Mist Fair, and so far I'm really loving Francesca Zappia's writing. Her writing style, while this is a young adult book, her writing style is very it's almost a little poetic, a little lyrical, and it's super easy to read. I'm gonna take my glasses off so that there's no glare. Yeah, super easy to read, but while also being very like lilting and beautiful. And I am really liking that. This book is also laid out in, it's almost like there's one whole story, which is about Grey Mist Fair. And then inside of this one story, there's like 5 smaller stories, each with chapters starting at 1, that kind of bring a different element to the story, an element to the bigger story. So we start off with the girl who defied, the girl who outran death. And that is like a few chapters that talk about Henrique. Heike, who is our main character in this book. And then it goes to another storyline that kind of jumps to the past and explains a couple things, and it also starts at chapter 1, and there's like 6 chapters of that, and then it goes to another storyline, but they all center around the same town, Grey Mist Fair, and each section or each sub-story gives us more of the main story. It's very interesting, and I'm loving it. This is very good. So there's not much that I'm not liking so far. Actually, I don't think that there's anything that I'm not liking. I think I'm liking everything so far about this book. There is definitely a mystery happening, and I'm not really sure. I am trying to pull all the threads to see if I can figure it out, but just when I think I can figure it out, I'm wrong. So very good. I like it a lot for YA fantasy. It's very, very good. Okay, so I just finished Grey Mist Fair, And I have to say, I really, really liked this. So this book follows Heike is how you say her name, and I've pronounced it wrong basically every time until I started reading this book. This follows Heike, who is a part of this village in the forest called Greymist Fair, and she is the daughter of the tailor who has worked for years to keep the village safe from what lurks in the forest. So there's just magic surrounds this town, this village in the woods. Not everybody who sets out to find the village finds it. And those that do are deemed worthy of finding it. So, but there's this force that lives in the woods that basically is tormenting the village. So I learned through reading this that this book is basically a few of like Grimm's fairy tales kind of put together into one story. A little bit of Hansel and Gretel, a little bit of some other lesser known Grimm's fairy tales that are put together in this book. And I thought it was brilliant. I gave it 4 stars. It is YA. It reads very fast, pretty clean. There's a really interesting cast of characters in this and very likable characters. Yeah, you just get really drawn in. So all in all, I thought this was a great read. Like I said, it was very quick. I started it last night and I am finished with it today. And so the next thing we have to do is figure out what we're going to read next. So in order to pick the next book, I've just put a little spinner wheel on my computer because my kid has my tablet. And honestly, it's really hard to like pull them away. It's almost not worth it. So the remaining books that we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really? We have 8 remaining books on here? I've already read 2. Do I pick 10 books? Who knows? I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have 8 books on here. So I have all the remaining 8 books on here. We're going to screen record. I think it's how we do it. I figured it out. Okay, so we are going to record the screen here, and then now we are going to pick. 3, 2, 1. Okay, A Whisper in the Walls. Whisper in the Walls by Scott Rentgen. That's how I say it. The first one that I read was A Door in the Dark. I talked about it before. It's very good. Dark academia. There's this school. It's like a magic school, and it is floating, basically. And there's these different levels, this caste system where there's different levels. And the lower you are, the lower the magic that you have. The higher you are, the higher the magic you have. And so the school is actually in the sky. It's the highest you can get. And only people with the highest amount of magic can get into the school. Well, we follow, I believe her name is Ren. Yes, Ren Monroe. We follow Ren in this series where she is a bit of an imposter, but she's in the school and something pretty crazy happens in A Door in the Dark. And it takes her and a group of her peers on kind of a wild trip, and some things happen. So at the end of A Door in the Dark, we're left with a bit of a cliffhanger, and Ren is left thinking maybe she might have been responsible for the chaos that kind of ensued in that book. So I imagine in this book, we will kind of pick up where that left off and maybe discover what actually happened, who was actually responsible. I will say this is, I don't believe this is YA. I'm fairly certain this is an adult fantasy. And maybe it's a little bit of a genre bender, because it seems the first one was like fantasy, mystery, thriller, like pretty crazy. Anyway, I am excited to see where this book takes us. So this is going to be the next book we jump into for this week. And yeah, I'll let you know how it's going. Hello. So I am just over 50% of the way through A Whisper in the Walls. And so far, I am really liking the second installment in the Waxway series, which is what this is called. So there's not a ton I can talk about because it is the second book in a series, but I can say that so far we're going more in depth with the main characters. We are learning more about this world, more about this magic system. We're getting a lot more information on who our bad guys are. And there is a twisty plot for revenge that's coming up and is starting to grow and bloom. So right now I'm really pulling for our main character and the love interest, who just happens to be connected to the enemies of the main character. So yeah, I just wanted to pop on and say that this is going very well. I am deeply intrigued with this book and I'm liking where it's going. I'm not sure, I haven't looked up if there's going to be another installment in the series or if it's going to be a duology, but I can't say that I want it to continue. I want it to go past this book because I won't really know that until I get to the conclusion of this book. But yeah, maybe that'll be my goal, is to look up whether or not this is going to have another installment. Whatever. All I know is so far I am really enjoying this book and I'm finding it difficult to put it down. So yeah, I just wanted to pop in and say that. Also, it's only day 3 of this week. So I think I started this on Saturday. Today's Monday afternoon. So if I can make an even larger dent in this book tonight, it is probable, there's a high probability that I'll be able to finish this tomorrow and move on to another book on my TBR. Feeling very accomplished. I have, there's my finger, all but 2 of those books on my TBR that I need to read. So there's some books. before school starts at the end of September for me. It'll be great. It'll be awesome. So anyway, really enjoying this book, and I'll let you know how it ends. I'll let you know. I'm getting ready to head to work, but I wanted to hop on and let you know I finished A Whisper in the Walls just now. And you guys, this was a great second installment to this series. I did look it up, and there is a third book coming out in 2025, and it's called The Burning in the Bones, or Burning in the Bones. Anyway, I can't wait, because again, this left us on a pretty intriguing note. I won't say it's a cliffhanger, because there was some conclusions to the story that started in A Door in the Dark. So we had some conclusions there, and then like a whole nother story opened up in the middle of this one. So very, very good. I feel real good about a solid 4 stars for this. I really enjoy Scott Rentken's writing. I find it to be easy to read, yet very logical and well put together. There's like 0 errors and inconsistencies. So I really like that about him and his writing, and honestly, these books in particular. I have never read anything else by him. I've only ever read the Waxway series so far. But I think I might look into his backlist, see if he has anything else out, because I really do enjoy him as an author. So with that, we are going to we've gone through 2 books already. This is fantastic. And we started Saturday, it's Tuesday. So we have tons of time to complete a couple more books, solidly 1 more, maybe even 2. I'm feeling really good about this. So let's get the spinner wheel out. I've updated it, and we'll see what book we're going into next. Okay, here is the updated wheel. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books left on our September TBR. So of these, I don't know that I have a particular preference. I think so far we've done like, I don't know if A Whisper in the Walls is a fantasy or if it's like a magical realism. Well, it's not magical realism. It's just straight up magic. Maybe it's like, I don't know, like a magical mystery thriller. I don't really know. Mystery for sure. I'll have to check the tags because I'm curious. But on here we have fantasy, sci-fi, YA fantasy, fantasy romance, historical fantasy, I think. I think Nettle and Bone is a fantasy, and then a romance. So let's see what we're going to get to. Oh my gosh! Okay, first of all, it's pumpkin colored for pumpkin. That worked out perfectly. Second of all, I was low-key kind of like, I would love to do something a little lighter, and the Pumpkin Spice Cafe is a little lighter. Without further ado, we are going to hop into the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by Laurie Gilmore. You know what's interesting is this is written by Laurie Gilmore, and I look at this book and it looks like something out of Gilmore Girls to me. I don't know. I'm not like a major Gilmore Girls fan, but I like it. It's okay. It's the season to fall in love. So I've read the back of this 800 times, it feels like. I know that we're following a gal who gets gifted the Pumpkin Spice Cafe by her aunt, and the local farmer who supplies the goods for this little cafe is reluctant to enter into I don't know if it's a relationship or just reluctant to get to know the gals in this town or something like that. So, it kind of feels like Grumpy Sunshine. Maybe. So, here we go. So, I was just saying that this reminds me of Gilmore Girls. Okay, I'm going to read the very front page, the front matter. Lori Gilmore writes small town romance. Her Dream Harbor series is filled with quirky townsfolk, cozy settings, and swoon-worthy romance. She loves finding books with the perfect balance of sweetness and spice and strives for that in her own writing. If you ever wished you lived in Stars Hollow or that Luke and Lorelai would just get together already, then her books are definitely for you. So totally giving off Gilmore Girl vibes. Finished the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. This was so cute. I loved the slow burn, and it was pretty clean, which is a nice change of pace. But this little small town is so cute, and Logan and Jeannie are adorable main characters. There was a little bit of like the back and forth, or should we, shouldn't we, internal dialogue was a little repetitive, but other than that, super cute. This is a solid I don't know. It's a solid 3-star read. Like, 3-star is awesome, average, great. And for what it is, it was great. I really liked it. And I would suggest that I would say, because I have words, that this is more of an October read. I'm reading it in September, but October is when the book is set. It kind of goes through some October days, and it has some Halloween shenanigans in it. So super cute romance, little element of mystery, adorable main characters, adorable small town. Yeah, I really liked this. I thought it was very, very good. So, we are on Thursday because this week has just absolutely bypassed me. And we're going to go ahead and spin for another book. I think this was book 3 that we've read this week, which is pretty phenomenal, actually. And we are going to go from Saturday to Saturday. So we still have a couple more days to see what damage we can do on my TBR. We're going to spin the wheel on my tablet and see what we get next. So on here, the Pumpkin Spice Cafe is still on here, but the rest of these are new. So we have War Mage, Failure Mode, House of Dragons, Reign of Night, The Fox Wife, and Nettle and Bone. I don't have a huge preference either way. I really don't. I think that all of these are going to be kind of heavier reads. Well, House of Dragons is YA. Reign of Night, The Fox Wife is historical fantasy, historical fiction. I don't know, it's historical something. So that could be a lot. Anyway, without further ado, let's just spin and see what happens. Nettle and Bone. Okay. Excellent. Nettle and Bone by T. King Fisher. Yeah, right. T. Kingfisher. I don't know why that sounded weird in my brain. I know very little about this. I believe her sister, the main character in this, Mara, is trying to save her sister from some sort of negative and hurtful marriage. And it involves her doing some witchy business, I guess. I'm not really sure. But I've heard amazing things about this. There's not much negative that I've heard people say. So I'm excited to jump into this and excited to see where it leads me. I finished Nettle and Bone. I actually finished it this morning and I really liked this. I gave it a 3-star rating, mainly because while I really like this, by the way, 3-star rating is a perfectly wonderful book. Like, it's a great rating for me. It's like middle of the road, very average. Nothing really wrong with it. It just means it wasn't necessarily my favorite or favoritist kind of book. So 3 stars is a great rating for this. I really enjoyed it. This was my first foray into T. Kingfisher's writing, and I really liked it. The writing it kind of felt really like stream of consciousness, and one thought after another with little kind of breakdown or like external dialogue, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But I loved the storyline. I loved the world building. It was a very interesting magic system, very interesting plot. I really loved Mara, our main character, and I loved her character arc from the beginning to the end. I super enjoyed the familiars and the animal companions that are in this, as well as the supporting characters. The supporting cast and characters. This was a very good book. I'm so happy that the Spinner Reel picked it for me to read. It, was really, really good. So with that being said, it is back to Saturday. We started this on a Saturday. We are ending this on a Saturday. And let's talk about how much we read this week, because I feel so good about it. So here is our stack of books that we read this week. We started on Saturday with Grey Mist Fair. We went into A Whisper in the Walls. Then we got to read The Pumpkin Spice Cafe, and we ended with Nettle and Bone. This is an incredible accomplishment. This is almost half of what the books that I had on my TBR for the month, and we read them in a week. So it was overall like an incredible reading week. I think I gave these 2 4 stars and these 2 3 stars. There was no book in the stack that I didn't thoroughly enjoy. All of them were pretty different in genre and style. And I listened and read. I did like an immersive reading experience for, I think, most of these. So I feel so good about this. This was a great week of reading. I think we will do this again because it really helps me focus and be intentional about what I'm reading when there is an element of a challenge in it for me, or an element of accountability. So next week, I think we'll hop on here and start another reading vlog. I'm hoping that with my college classes starting back up in a couple of weeks, and my ministry things are starting back up. I have ladies Bible study that is going to be resuming next week. And we do like a home group, a Thrive group every week. And so with 3 of my evenings pretty much accounted for until 8 o'clock p.m., it's going to be a busy time for me. So I'm going to get in my reading whenever and however I can. So you guys can help me accomplish that goal. For this video, we're going to be done here. 4 books in 7 days. That's incredible. I feel so good about it. So I'll catch you on the next one. Let me know down below if there's any of these books that you've read and you've enjoyed, or if there's any of these books that you want to read and would like some more information, or maybe some non-spoilery, unfiltered thoughts, things like that. Let me know. I'm happy to provide those for you. Otherwise, I'll catch you on the next one. Have the best day.